Hey, my name's Connor. This is a metal album review of Windrose's 2019 album Wintersaga. Uh, Hopefully, in this series, you will be able to find some new albums that are of interest to you, or you'll discover some tracks on some albums that maybe you've skipped over in the past. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Windrose is an Italian dwarf metal band. Dwarf metal being the sum of power metal, death metal, thrash metal, maybe some more stuff, all wrapped up into a awesome package that can only be described as dwarf metal. Wintersaga, like I said, 2019. It's their fourth album. It's kind of the album that kicked off their more recent surge in popularity. This is the album that has some of the songs that made me discover them and really fall in love with this band. I'm going to try and keep this review, I'm not going to call it objective, but I'm going to call it, try and balance it out. I'm not going to try to just be a Windrose fanboy, but yeah, I'm going to try and go ahead and provide some critiques where I can on each track. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into each track, throw them on a tier list because that's what the internet likes. And yeah, first track is Of Iron and Gold. Windrose likes to open their albums with an instrumental lead-in. I love that. I love it when bands do that. This one's a bit long. It's almost 3 minutes, but I think it's interesting. But nothing else really much to say about it. Let's just go ahead and toss it into C, just because I think that's just a fair place to put just kind of a instrumental lead-in track. First, I'd call it real track of the album, Wintersaga. This is also one of the singles off of the album. Introduces a lot of what makes Windrose awesome. It has an interesting melody. It has the keys in step with the melody that the guitar is playing. It has epic group singing. It's a really cool start to the album. It's kind of like setting out on the adventure. That's probably the theme of this album, is like adventure. Yeah, I really like this track. If I have to critique it, it has some death metal elements that I don't know if they fit in super well here. They'll just start blasting before the verse and out of the chorus. So I'm going to toss it in A. I do really like this song, though. Another single is Drunken Dwarves. I have a cover of this on my YouTube channel, which tells you that I probably like it quite a bit. Another kind of death metal-y, thrashy song, but this introduces some of Windrose's signature dwarf chants. If you listen to the track, you'll know what I'm talking about. They do it a couple different times. They have a couple different chants. The riff in this is pretty heavy. The guitar lead I really enjoy. It's kind of like a fiddle sounding melody. High point of this track is the breakdown. It's about halfway through the song. It's pretty awesome. I love it. Main critique to this song is that the chorus maybe is a little flat. Again, a lot of the critiques, I need to just offer something of a critique, so this isn't just me fanboying. I'm going to put it in A. This could maybe be an S song. It's high A, though. Next song, another single. I think this is the last single that we're going to get to. Diggy Diggy Hole. This is far and away their most popular song. It has 78 million listens on Spotify. The next closest two are at about 15 million. This is a cover of a cover of like kind of a meme song from YouTube. It's there's nothing really to say about this. It's an awesome song. I think they executed like the cover of covering a meme song about as well as they could have. They added some heavy riffs. I really enjoy the drums in this song. There's a kind of a bridge interlude section in the middle. I really like some of the drum work on that. Nothing really to critique on this song. It's an easy S, I think. This is this is their signature song. This is what they have ended shows with. I've seen them twice. They've ended the show once with it. This is just their quintessential dwarf metal song. Next song, Mine, Mine, Mine. This is what introduced me to Windrose on a game on the Oculus called Ragnarok. It's like a VR drumming game. You're the ship of a Viking rowboat, and you need a it's like Guitar Hero. You need a drum in time to propel your boat forward. This is one of the songs on there. Main pros to this song, it's just awesome. It makes you want to lift heavy weights. The dwarf chants are there. Every song that has a dwarf chant, that's an automatic. Like, it's gonna put the song pretty high up for me. The lyrics, they're just badass. They make you want to go do stuff. You're up at dawn in the mines. You're making the rocks glow. You're making them burn. And then pretty much most of this song is just group vocals. That's really what Windrose does best, I think, is they have a lead singer who's really good at singing, but they also all are singing as a group, something I really enjoy, and it kind of adds to their signature sound and makes every song that they make just so big and wide. Only critique I could put to the song is the bridge is, I don't know, it's maybe a little drawn out. I don't know, it's still only a 5-minute song, so I don't think it overstays its welcome too much. This is an easy yes for me. I know that I should probably put Diggy Hole above it if we're going by the popularity game, but this is my review, so we're putting it ahead of Diggy Hole. The Art of War, another awesome song. I'm gonna say every single song on this is awesome. I love this band. The highlights of this are it's one of their, I'd say, heavier songs on the album. It has dwarf chants again. The chorus I really love. The on and on and on and on lyric I really enjoy. It has kind of two interlude breakdowns. One of them being, I think it's an accordion. A little closer to the end of the song. It's one of the highlights of the album for me. Having just like an accordion interlude. There's nothing really else I can say about this track. Again, I'm gonna put it in a high A. I'm not gonna try to congest the S ranking. It's pretty up there with Drunken Dwarves. Depends on your mood. I'm gonna put it above Drunken Dwarves though. I could listen to the song quite a bit, whereas Drunken Dwarves I might get a little bored with if I listen to it 5 times in a row. Okay, first song that kind of falls flat on this album for me is There and Back Again. It's just not, I think, a very interesting track. I think they tried to make this track as to add some variety to the album. The pros that it's got going for it is it's all Tolkien inspired, or The Hobbit specifically inspired lyrics, which is probably the band's biggest source of inspiration. I just don't find the music very interesting. I don't think it really goes too many places that I'm interested in. I'd say this is probably the only skip on the album. And it's just it's over 6 minutes long. It draws out a little bit. We're gonna put it in C, and not much else to say there. The King Under the Mountain, Uh, it's a cool, heavy riff, heavy song. Um, I think it's probably their most death metal inspired song, at least on this album. I really enjoy uh, the screaming that Francisco, I think his name's Francesco, the lead singer, he offers on this. It has a cool melody. It has dwarf chants, um, and it has a really, really cool like rising bridge. The main drawback to the song, I'd say there's no really big hook to it, and I don't want to say that like I need a big hook that is like big and popular to get me into a song, but yeah, just I if I don't listen to this track for a few weeks, months, I can kind of forget what it sounds like, and I have to kind of be refreshed. So yeah, I know I offered a lot of positives to it, but I'm gonna put it into B. I don't think it's a bad track, but I think it's just probably one of their less interesting ones. But if you're in the mood for heavy, I think it is a good track. Last track on the album, and the longest one at 9 minutes and 16 seconds, is We Were Warriors. The pros on this one, it has, I think, the best dwarf chants, definitely on the album, maybe in their catalog. They're like going la 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 la. I don't. How do you make going la 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 into like a badass heavy thing in a metal song? I don't know. Windrose does it. I really enjoy that. Has a heavy riff and a really cool guitar melody. Main drawback to the song is I think it's definitely longer than it needs to be. It's like I said, over 9 minutes long, but it is their outro song, so yeah, I think a lot of that is probably just kind of the wind down at the end. But I think if they had maybe they could have tightened this up a little bit and made it a little bit more of an interesting song. But I really enjoy this song. I'm gonna put it in A. This is hard. It's about on par with Wintersaga. I'm gonna put it above Wintersaga. It depends on my mood. But yeah, there's every track on the album. I think it's a really strong album. I think it establishes Windrose's signature style. This is, like I said, this is their fourth album, but I think this is really what has made the blueprint for their success. They've had 2 albums come out since this, and they've, I think, more or less followed kind of the groundwork that they laid out here. It's epic adventure music. This makes me want to go lift weights. It makes me want to go on a hike. It makes me want to get out into nature, hang out with my friends. Main drawbacks are that some of the songs are on the longer end, but I think it could have been tightened up maybe a little bit. But the album's packed full of really awesome, memorable moments in songs, heavy riffs, awesome melodies, awesome dwarf chants. That if there's one thing that I can take away from this album, it's that the dwarf chants are just so awesome. Yeah. So if I had to rank this album, I'm gonna go ahead and give it 8.5 pickaxes. That's the metric, pickaxes today. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy this album and you can look into it if you haven't, or if you've come across Windrose before and haven't digged into some of their songs. This helps you. This helps guide you what to look at. But appreciate you guys watching this all the way through, and catch you on the next album review.